I think we have to quickly pass on to the next session and the final session for the day, which is going to be fire safety. And this is probably one of the most important sessions in today's hospital, especially after the Amri incident. And with the NABH accreditation in most of the hospitals, fire safety is probably one of the vital components now being discussed. To take us through this session, we have two eminent speakers. And the chair for this session is Dr. V. Sriram. He is one of the very elite people in the group of safety. He's done his doctorate in safety, one of the very few. And he heads a company. He is the MD of a company called Sriram Safety and Quality Management Services, which conducts safety audits, safety training, risk assessment, third-party audits, and statutory inspections. And he's got 40 years of experience in the field. Welcome you, sir. And to co-chair, we have Mr. Venkata Siva Subramaniam, who's again got probably a period of about 40 years of experience in the field of fire safety, and he's worked in an MNC. And to just add on, we have had problems getting the accreditation, and recently CMC Vellore got the accreditation with the NABH last month. Now, if people who are working in the accreditation will know, the guidelines have been changed recently. Now, we can do third-party audits if the NOC is not available for the buildings. And this Sriram group of companies, Sriram Safety and Quality Management Service, actually did the third-party audit for us, which we submitted to NABH, and that is how the guidelines got changed. So they played a very vital role in our NABH accreditation. Thank you very much, and we thought it's a forum to address them. And now I leave the chair to Dr. Sriram, and we start our sessions thereafter. Thank you.
It's an electrification. Now we are going to create a fire. Fire is a very, very important phenomena in our every walk of life. Young Ida Scudder, her fire in her mind created CMC. CMC is the output of the fire in the mind of Dr. Ida Scudder. Like Dr. Abdul Kalam created fire in the minds of youngsters, create a vision for the country. So, fire is always important. Without fire, we can't live. Fire control is more important to avoid disasters. And we are going to talk about how we are going to control the fire and how we are going to live with fire. And we got, I think, first speaker, Mr. Namachivayam, one of the eminent firefighter in this country, and he was involved in most of the very big fire incidents, and also he worked in the Gujarat disasters and all, and he is an eminent speaker, and he can create a very good. He is a very good trainer in the field of fire, and I don't because of the constraints in time, I am not going to brief his biodata all these things, and I'll ask Mr. Namachivayam to proceed to speak.
I thought you were all in going mood. And so it's a happy announcement. This is the last session for you. And we have only two speakers. And you would be more happy if I stop now itself. Anyhow, before I continue, I used to talk safety contract, that is to spread awareness. So just I begin with that. Without backing or sightseeing, tell me how many exits are here? 8? So it would be better, I do not know whether it was informed in the morning itself. In case of emergency, you have to take the nearest exit. First rule, first step. The second step, push the door gently, that will open outward, because all exit doors are designed to open outward only. Then you have to move that like that only. If it is not moving, then you see whether the lock is there or not there, then you open it, then you can go. Again it is not opening, you move to the nearest exit, or maybe be locked. So this is the first thing. Second thing, it happened in a kitchen. See, when a lady, when a LPG service and use burning is there, some cooking process is there, what happens, she is using that cockroach heat, she is just killing that cockroaches there from corner of the room, like that she is coming nearer to the stove, then the entire room got burning. What happened? That aerosol, that heat is aerosol, that is a combustible, flammable liquid that catches fire, that heats the lady. So it is an awareness that you should not use when the LPG is burning, don't use any sort of aerosol use. That's the first thing you want to say. With regard to the life safety, my point is here, the life safety requirements, fire and life safety requirements for high-rise buildings. So not moving. So the high-rise buildings are rare. Frequency is less, but severity is high. And incident trend is increasing. Though the severity is more and frequency is less, but the less trend is increasing nowadays. And high-rise firefighting, fire prevention, fire protection, fire reaction, it needs specialist skill, training, without which we can't do it. So these buildings indicates what? The buildings are not healthy, especially hospitals, not high-rise buildings, especially hospital buildings must be healthier. Already a patient without health is there. So your building must be health, so that the healthier building you should have, so that you can make your patients more health. And taller the building, greater the risk. Actually, can you tell me where you cannot have the fire risk? Anyone? Is there any place without fire risk, or is there any sort of living that you cannot have any type of risk? Without risk you have to live. What you should do? What? Go to heaven. Only thing you can do, you should not take a birth at all. When you take a birth on this earth, the crisis management starts immediately. The crisis started. So that is the integral part of our life. So risk and hazards, part and parcel of our life, we have to prepare for it, and we have to live with hazards, and we have to learn how to live with hazards. So that is the thing. So really the tallness, it is not height, it is mere not height of the building that gives you risk, it is the tallness, because high-rise buildings are completely enclosed, covered, and when the height of the building increases, fire load is increasing. Then the amount of heat generated in the building, that will also increasing, accumulating, because it is not dissipated out. And smoke is increasing, that is passing from floors to floors, because all high-rise buildings are connected with each floor through our service pipelines, holes, gaps, passage, there are so many things. So whatever, so there is a high-rise building, the tallness that gives you much more risk factor. Not only that, the response time for you come down to the earth, 19th floor, 1,800 meters height of the buildings are coming up nowadays. Suppose you are the top floor, there is a fire in the middle, how you can come up? So there is a watch, how much time you will take? So what should be the safety systems a building must have in order to protect your life? So these are all the new things. These are specialist and complicated factors in high-rise buildings. So that is the tallness that includes. And hospital classified as per NBC Group C. And hospital occupancy involves special risk factors. We already discussed every occupancy, residence, institutions, commercial, and various warehouses and hazardous storages, processes have special types of risk. Hospital, what type of risk you have? Unconscious people may be there, non-ambulant persons may be there, and differently abled persons, mentally retarded, some people sleeping, some people medically supported. So in case of emergency, they cannot help themselves. And you cannot help yourself unless you know how to react in an emergency. So that is why we have these sort of some knowledge management classes, programs. And so the hospital safety management has a dual role of general fire safety and specific life safety aspects. As per NBC, National Building Code of India, that is the living document, masterpiece of our building development and regulations. So, the strategy, the goal is fire must be prevented. That is a fire prevention. There should be no fire occurrence. Your vision, this hospital vision should be zero incident. You should have the zero incident. But if incident occurs, then 100% reporting should be there. That is a different scenario. And the fire prevention must be, that is one of your goal or objective. Then the second goal is, in case fire occurs, that must be detected immediately, that must be suppressed immediately so that fire cannot be spread, damage can be reduced. That is the second strategy or the second objective of the goal. And the third one is reaction. In case both fire prevention fails, fire protection fails, your sprinkler doesn't work, smoke detector failed to detect, or your MCP does not work, your fire pump does not work, so pressurization of water will not come. In that case, what you have to do? You have to face the fire, you have to evacuate. That is why you should know the nearest exits to you. You have to know how to evacuate. That is the purpose of a mock drill that we are conducting. So this is a strategy. To achieve this fire prevention, passive fire safety measures are available as per the NBC. What are the passive systems? That starts from design. Design of the safety should begin with the design principles. So, that is the passive safety. That we are going to see what are the passive safety measures. That is a built-in system. It's as per built-in as a natures of the material, design constructions that gives you fire resistance and life safety features. Active fire safety measures intended to fight the fire, to detect the fire, to suppress the fire. That is the purpose of the active fire safety measures. And administrative measures, what are all the things that we are going to see? So fire protection passive measures. So a building should be accessible to the emergency fire services so that fire vehicles can reach in time, and all around the four sides of the building there should be a ways to make around, and the fire lane marking, fire service vehicles should come and park. There is a separate place for firefighting and rescuing, and the selection and use of non-combustible materials. So don't keep more combustible items, select the non-combustible items so that fire will not have more fire load. And the fire resistant construction, type of construction, 4 hours rating, 2 hours rating, depends upon the type of construction, type of use that you are going to use. So we have to select the type of construction. And compartmentation, and protected compartmentation is nothing but dividing the space into two, so that if fire happens in one side, that will be contained there itself. The smoke, heat, fire that will be contained in a particular room, that will not be allowed to spread by a wall, fire separating wall, resistance wall. If there is a passage, there should be a fire door. That fire door also equally resists the fire, resists the heat, resists the smoke, so that the fire, smoke, heat that will not spread to the other chamber. That is the purpose of the compartmentation. And means of exit. There should be an exit, should go out in case of emergency. And types of exits, external exits, internal exits, ramps, especially hospitals that need ramps because the patients to come through the trolley, so they cannot come down by stairs. Though there's a special provision is required for hospitals, there is a types of exit. And specifications, they are already in the NBC. Since the interest of time, I cannot deal all these things. And fire protected holes, any holes, plumbing services like water, electrical cable, communication cable, any other, there are so many cables passing through each floors, and there will be a holes, there will be a gaps, there will be a passageways that should be completely sealed so that in case of fire, smoke, heat will not spread to the other floor. That is the purpose of the fire protected holes. And fire check doors. And fire retardant treatment. So some cables can be painted, retardant paint, so that fire cannot catch immediately. The fire will be retarded, not accelerated. And FRLS, that is fire resistance low smoke emission cables, so that the cable is the most important part of the high-rise buildings. Lot of cabling will be there, that should be given a proper protection. And refuge areas and safety assembly areas, refuge areas, temporary assembly area, that you are, so I'm going to give you the visuals for this so that you could able to understand. It's an active firefighting system. This is meant to fight the fires, fire extinguishers, hose drills. So these are all the items that is already available in the buildings, and so just I'm going to see the visuals for you so that you can able to understand quickly. In administrative, safety policy must be there, budget allotment should be there, compliance with the standards and codes, and training evaluation must be there. DRT teams, that's a very much crucial point. Everywhere, hospitals, emergency response team must be there available to help the occupants, help the people. And care and maintenance of fire safety equipments and fire audit. And so knowledge management is one of the programs. So these are all the things very much required. So just see brown building sides, there is an approach road. Our two sides, another two sides, the same thing. So these are all the ways to come. So this is a marked area. That yellow is a marked area. So where the firefighting vehicle can stand. See, the firefighting operation is there. There is a fire lane, exclusive area for operation of firefighting vehicles. So there is a firefighting constructions, fire doors, the fire shutters to spread the cut short the fire spread. And the means of escape, travel distance from one place to the outside, how much distance, travel distance you have to pass on. These are all to be calculated. Is a fire door, handrails, so fire exit escape marking. Is a cable, retardant paint is given on the electrical cable so that fire will not spread easily. Same. And it is assembly area, air marked with the signages, assembly areas. This is a refuge area. This is a refuge area where people can stay temporarily. This is exterior view of the refuge area. This is a ceiling, the fire ceiling, the complete seal so that smoke cannot spread in. These are fire extinguishers. So you have to know, but one thing you have to know how to operate the fire extinguishers. So that is a very, very important. Having equipment without operating it, it will not happen. It happened one time. Once a person complained to me, sir, your people come and service your extinguisher, that no extinguisher is working. I asked how many extinguishers I use. He said 3 extinguishers I used. How do you use? How did you use? I throw the extinguisher on the fire itself. Nothing is working. So this is the way. So these are all the things. Just see that these are all the items. FHSC. So these are good practices of keeping the fire pump house and the system, sprinkler system and spray system. This is a battery room. We have a separate battery room. Batteries are separated with a proper ventilation system and a modular firefighting system, auto ventilation system. So is electrical is a quick fire system, that is it's a local flooding system, total flooding system. Local flooding system is there. We are using it in the DLF especially for electrical panels. It's a very effective and it's very cost effective also. This contingency plans, signages, emergency instructions displayed, these are all to be there. And fire lift, it should be there as per the NBC requirement. All lift will not work in case of fire, but this lift can be used. This lift will come down to the earth and there will be a fireman switch. This is a fireman switch. We can operate this and we can make use of this work during the emergency. But only by the fireman, not by all. So, coming to the last session, last slide, safety, whose responsibility? Everyone means no one, nobody's. So that is happening. So it's everybody's responsibility, but accountable, who is accountable? So, see, the most wonderful instrument in this world, most wonderful, the greatest, ever greatest, is what? Our human body. Our human body is most wonderful instrument. So you have to save it, you have to protect it. You have no right to kill yourself, kill others, because you cannot create your body. That is a nature's law, nature's principle. So you have to protect your life. But your birth, that is not your option. But there is a chances, option to protect your life. So choose your life to be safe. And safety should be the choice, not by chance. And the purpose of life, everyone's purpose of life, from the beginning to the end, happiness. But happiness comes from within. That starts from within. Happiness cannot be purchased, but can be perceived. It's a mental setup, so your perception. Like that, safety is your perception. That should start from your perception. Both happiness and safety should start from home. Home does not mean a physical constructed home, that's from your heart. So you should be dedicated, you should have a dedication and sincere devotion so that you can improve safety. And before concluding this, Just I want to share one more incident that happened. When I attended a fire call, then I went to this that had happened at the 7th floor. That I reached with all our crew. That happened. What happened? Then one man, almost in a faint condition, sitting in a chair, and somebody are holding their hand. Something like that. What happened? And then a bursting sound came. He suddenly got fainted. Then we inquired. He is a PhD. Normal time he worked very well. He is a quite intelligent man. But in emergency times he becomes PhD. What PhD? Partially head damaged, partially brain not working. In normal time, how you work, that is entirely different. But in the abnormal time, how you should work, how you can be successful in case of any emergency. When you can be successful, how you can be successful in case of any emergency. When you have the ability to know and to practice what you should do, what you should not do. In case of LPG leakage, what you should do, what you should not do. In case of earthquake, what you should do, how you got to escape yourself, how you got to protect yourself. That is the most important. How to operate the fire extinguishers. In case of LPG fire happened at your house, what should be the steps 1, 2, 3, what you should not do like that. So these are all the critical informations that you should have. So these awareness and skills, that is given by the training. Training gives you 3 things. Ask, that is attitude, then knowledge, then skill. The 3 things are required for any emergency, to handle any emergency. So this is a forum that you can exchange many things. I take this opportunity to wish you all a very, very safe and happy days in all your days of your life. Thank you.
Sir, thank you very much. You, as a fireman, you came within your time, you put off the fire, you put on so many fires and put it off. Thank you.